In this video, we're going to look at how to configure application experiences for candidates that will allow for tailored and optimized application processes for different types of jobs within your organization. For example, perhaps you're a global retail company that needs a different application process for corporate jobs versus retail store jobs, or maybe you need to configure different applications per location. You have the ability to configure different applications based on org fields on the Application Experience page, located under the Career Page Setup section in Settings. On the Application Management tab, you'll see your default application experience, as well as any other applications you've created. You can edit your default application by clicking the Edit icon, located to the right of the application name. Since this is the default application, you can't change the application title, but you can configure what information should be collected, and we'll go over these options in a moment. Also, you'll notice there are no org fields listed at the bottom of the page, as this application will be used for all jobs that do not already meet org field criteria for other application experiences. Going back to the Application Management tab, now we're going to create a new application experience by clicking the New Application Experience button at the top right of the page. For this example, we're going to create an application for our retail store position, so we'll title this application Retail Store. For retail store roles, we don't need to have applicants include a resume, so we'll toggle that field off. We also don't need to have them include a message to the hiring manager, and we don't need to ask for their social profiles, so we'll toggle those off as well. To the right of the fields, you'll see the checkboxes that make the fields required. For this application, we want the experience field to be required, so we're going to click the checkbox. You'll also notice that the name and email fields are grayed out, and that's because they are both required information that the system needs to create an application, so those fields are not editable. Some fields have a settings icon, which allows you to configure additional information related to that field. For example, if we click on the settings icon for the education field, we're able to select if we want to also collect education dates, along with the institution information which is required if the field is enabled. For this application experience, we'll make the education field optional. There are also additional options for configuring the place of residence field. When you click the settings icon, you can choose to have the applicant only provide their city or region, or you can require a postal code. When an applicant provides a postal code, it allows users to better utilize the postal code proximity search in the system. Once we're done selecting the application fields, we can scroll down to assign an org field. Right now, we have the default application experience being assigned to all jobs, but we want to make sure that any retail store roles use this application instead. To do that, we're going to use the department org field and select the retail option from the drop-down. Now that the org field is set, this application will be applied to any job that has retail selected as the department. Other org fields you might use to assign application experiences include country or brand, but you can use any org field to assign applications. The final step in setting up the application is toggling on the Activate option at the bottom of the page. The system will only allow activation if the org fields set for this application experience do not conflict with other applications. If there is a conflict, when you click the Create button, the system will display an error showing which application experience is causing the conflict, and then you can adjust the org fields accordingly. Once you're ready to save your application, click the Create button at the top right of the page. Now our retail application experience has been saved successfully, and you can always go back in and edit any of your applications as needed. You can also deactivate an application by toggling off the Activate button on the Application Edit page. The second tab on the Application Experience page is Configuration. First on this page, we have the ability to track candidates who reapply to the same job. This can be really useful if you do have those serial applicants, as this will add a reapplied badge on their profile, which makes them easily identifiable to the hiring team. The option to track candidates who reapply is a yes or no option, and if you do turn it on, you can determine when the reapplied badge should be applied depending on the time frame within which a candidate has reapplied. For example, you may only want to track candidates who reapply within 12 months, or maybe you want to track any time a candidate reapplies. You also can view and copy the HTML code for your general application so you can place it on your career site, or use the URL anywhere you want to place the link. Clicking on this link will take the candidate to the general application, which allows them to submit their information without applying to a specific job. Please do keep in mind that with a general application, only users with an admin or extended role are able to review this application. Now let's review how the application experience is indicated while creating a job. We're going to create a job for a position at one of our retail locations. And as we go through the job creation process, on the third step where we'll enter our job field information, under the job fields there is a notification stating which application will be applied to this job. Currently, the default application will be applied since no org field selections have been made yet. But once we set the department field to retail, the notification will update. And now the retail store application will be applied. So users will be able to make sure the correct application is being applied to their job, ensuring that candidates will have the best application experience possible. Thank you for watching this video on configuring multiple application experiences in SmartRecruiters.